And we are live. Hello, everybody. Hi, Nrup.
Hi, Zaniak. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Welcome to Learn English with Football. This is a live YouTube show where my guests and I talk about football, especially the Premier League. The show is aimed at all football enthusiasts. Are you an enthusiast, Nrup?
Definitely.
All right.
Day in, day out.
So am I. If I'm honest, I'm no pundit, though. I'm a professional English teacher, and most of my guests are also English teachers. So this show is definitely suitable for English learners. Nrup is not a teacher, but he's a medicine student, which is also very interesting. And I think there is a good connection with football too, because footballers always get injured, right?
Footballs as well. I mean, if you kick too hard. But yeah, definitely I agree.
Yeah. And so as we talk, now and again, I clarify. Every now and again, I'll clarify vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar. That's also part of the show. I accidentally clicked the YouTube video. So anyway, here is Mr. Henriquez. Hello. Hi, Mr. Henriquez. Welcome back to the show. And we
We
cannot
cannot
hear you.
hear you.
You seem to be muted. Yeah. No worries. No worries. Well, there's plenty of time till we get to Manchester United anyway. So there are a lot of things to discuss. As always, I'm going to introduce my guests a bit first. Nrup, we've already said he's a student of medicine, currently based in Prague. Nrup, where are you from?
I'm from India.
All right. How about Mr. Henriquez? Is your mic working now? Not yet. Not yet. Well, I'll just tell you what I know about Mr. Henriquez. His name is Leontes, actually, but his YouTube channel is Mr. Henriquez, right? That's why we refer to him as Mr. Henriquez. He is an English teacher from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And
yeah, does it work? Is it working?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Let me get into focus. Right. Yeah. So what you said, English teacher from the Netherlands, and so my name is Leontes, but I use my last name as kind of is how students address teachers in our country, by their last name. So I use Mr. Henriquez as my brand name, basically.
Yeah, that's all right. We don't mind. We will just call you Mr. Henriquez here. All right. So we've got a lot of things to discuss. But first of all, guys, which matches did you actually manage to see this weekend?
I was able to see Arsenal versus Liverpool. Somehow, I made it through. I made it through those 94 minutes. And yeah, I mean, I was following the other games: Everton, City, Man United. Yep.
Nice one.
Much. Yeah.
What about Mr. Henriquez?
Well, I obviously watched Man United, Watford against Man United, and I watched the first half of Arsenal Liverpool. Yeah.
All right. Well, those two matches have a lot in common. We're definitely going to discuss them. I actually saw 4 matches, full 4 matches, both halves, each match. But then I also saw the first half of the Tottenham match.
Wow.
So, yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to have a look at the questions I have here. By the way, guys, who are those of you that are watching this live, feel free to ask us anything as we talk. This is an interactive show, so we would really appreciate it. Any kind of comments. So let's start with Norwich, actually. Yeah. So the Canaries won their second match in a row, 2-1. After 10 matches, everyone predicted Norwich to get relegated, in my opinion. They were bottom of the league and nowhere near staying up. But now they have a new manager, Dean Smith, and they battled back from a goal down against Southampton. So, do you think they can? Do you think the fans can get behind their team now? Nope.
I think so. I think so, definitely. He's the manager is an ex Aston Villa manager. He has proven that he can challenge the top teams. He can disturb the table a bit, and considering Norwich, a relegation team almost, yeah, he would definitely give in some hope to the team. And yeah, like you can see the result. I think I remember seeing the statistics, and I think Norwich, stats wise, they were a weaker team. They had less possession, less passes, less shots. Whereas Southampton, they had more shots and more possession, and yet somehow they got the win 2-1, which was quite a big achievement for Norwich.
Yeah. Apparently, Norwich were really good in the second half, and they deserved their win, from what I heard. It was a dominant second half display from them, and their captain Hanley headed home, and it was well-deserved 3 points for Norwich. What do you think, Mr. Henriquez? Did you see the highlights?
No, I wasn't able to see any of the highlights yet. Very busy weekend, but I think Dean Smith has a good track record, right? So I think they can achieve something, at least not be relegated.
Well, hopefully for Norwich. I mean, they're not a bad team to watch. You know, sometimes those bottom league teams are a bit boring, but I think Norwich is not one of them. I think they play a decent football. So, you said
I feel the same about Leeds United. I think Leeds United is also very interesting to watch.
Absolutely. Well, they were amazing last year. Yeah, so it's just a bit disappointing. The results are a bit below par this season so far. Dean Smith has a good track record. That's a very nice expression that Mr. Henrique has used. That basically means that Dean Smith, as a manager, has got some stuff behind him. He's got decent results with managing other teams, basically. Yeah, a good track record. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, so what do you think, guys? Can well, obviously they sacked their manager. It was interesting because we already mentioned it in the show 14 days ago that the previous manager actually managed to win a game before he got sacked. So they sacked him right after his first win with Norwich, which was weird. But now 2 wins in a row. So do you think it can help sometimes to sack a manager? Nrup.
I think so, definitely. If you see that the manager itself is losing the dressing room, and if the manager's press conference talks are not that much, let's say, concrete, like when people criticize him and his response towards that is not at all concrete, then I think it's time to just sack him. You know, 5-10 million euros for some bigger investment. I think it's good for the team and for the club. Too much of toxicity is bad, you know. So yeah.
You said that a manager can sometimes lose the dressing room, right? Yeah. So this is definitely an interesting expression. The dressing room, that's where the players change their clothes, you know, to get ready for the match. And obviously, it's an important place. And if you lose the dressing room, that's used to refer to a manager who stops being followed by his players. His players stop sort of following their manager, stop listening to him, or don't believe in him anymore, don't believe in his philosophy, in the methods, in the training methods, or simply just, you know, there's not a good atmosphere in the team. So, Mr. Henriquez, obviously, you are a Manchester United fan, so we will slowly but surely be getting to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's sacking. But well, I guess we can ask you now. So now that he has been sacked, when did it happen?
Sunday morning. I think it happened Saturday evening, but they came out with the news on Sunday morning.
Yeah. So do you think it will help?
No, I don't know. I don't know whether it will help immediately. I would have loved if they would have waited until after the Champions League game,
Mhm.
because I don't know whether Michael Carrick is able to carry the team across the line. Um,
I
you know,
like what you did there, Michael Carrick, to carry the team.
yeah, yeah. Nice alliteration there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It depends on who will replace Solskjaer. I think that basically it depends on who can replace Solskjaer. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the question, because obviously there are not that many good managers on the market now that Antonio Conte joined Spurs for some reason.
Yeah.
It's going to, well, there are some options. We can discuss them later. But at this point, I would like to teach one really cool proverb. A new broom sweeps clean. Have you heard this one before, guys? A new broom
Well,
sweeps
practically
clean.
speaking, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that the idea is that when someone gets fired or sacked, and then someone else, I should leave it on, someone else replaces them, perhaps this person will bring new ideas, new approaches, new ways of doing things, and ultimately this could be beneficial to the team. So, well, we are yet to see. We don't even know the new manager. You mentioned Carrick. So has he become the interim manager then?
No, he's caretaker first, and from what I've read is that they're looking for someone who takes over until the end of the season, and then in the summer they want to find someone who can take over from there. So there'll be a caretaker, then there'll be an interim, and then there will be a new manager.
Yeah, so these are some interesting expressions. So an interim manager is like a temporary manager.
Yeah.
Caretakers, for me, it's like something similar, really. But do you think there is a difference, Mr. Henriquez?
No, I don't. I think it's just terminology, basically, because I remember that when Solskjaer came, he was also a caretaker manager, and then he became permanent manager. So I don't know what they're doing with the words caretaker, interim.
Yeah, I think
there are some interesting analyses about the words. I've read some people at Manchester Evening News who had an opinion about the use of words, but yeah.
Okay, nice one. Have we had any interim managers or caretakers in Arsenal or at Arsenal, Nrup?
I think Freddie Ljungberg, he was the interim manager after the sacking of Unai Emery. And yeah, I think
right.
from my memory, that's it. After Wenger, I think it was immediately Emery. Yeah.
No, Unai Emery, Ljungberg, and then obviously Mikel Arteta. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right then. Newcastle, Brentford, Burnley, Crystal Palace. Both these matches ended in 3-3 draws. Two amazing thrillers. It just doesn't cease to amaze me how competitive the Premier League is, and this is what makes it the best league in the world for me personally, because you can have results like that, and these teams are not even the best teams, they are nowhere near the most supported teams in the league, and yet they can produce fantastic football, score a lot of goals, and excite the fans like me, neutral fans as well. And it's just what the Premier League is about. Did you guys see any of the highlights?
No. But I've seen the stats, especially with Brentford and Newcastle. I'm surprised actually with both the teams, because Newcastle, who recently got a new manager, new owners, and Brentford, who has been quite, I would say, an overpowering team in a way, because looking at their ex performances in their previous matches against Liverpool, against Arsenal, yeah, they have been fantastic. Brentford, they play really good football, and against Newcastle, which is a relegated team, almost.
No,
I think
not yet. Don't
almost,
count. Yeah,
definitely. But yeah, definitely. Brentford has been quite good, and 3-3 results, 6 goals. Wow, just wow.
You said I have seen the stats. Stats. Another word
Stats
for
as in like
statistics.
statistics.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
All right.
yeah, it was pretty much an equal game. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Burnley Palace 3-3. This league is amazing, I have to say. I'm going to ask Mr. Henriquez. Obviously, Nrup mentioned that Newcastle are in the they are in the relegation zone right now. So
Yeah.
do you think, because now that they have new owners, obviously, they are the richest club are they the richest club in the league now? I think they are, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you think they are going to splash out in the next transfer window, which will be, I think, in January, right?
I think it could be interesting, but I don't think we need to make them Premier League winners already, right? In the coming season, and this for
No.
definitely not this year, but also not in the coming seasons, because we still have Manchester City, and we still have Liverpool, and we still have Arsenal, and we still have Spurs, etc. Chelsea, of course. And I think you need to have some sort of track record to persuade players to come and play for you.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo, on deadline day switched from Manchester City to Manchester United was because of his history.
Yeah.
Same with Edison Cavani, who was able to stay for another year because he wanted to play for Manchester United in front of the audience, right? In front of the fans.
Yeah.
And I don't think Newcastle has that amount of leverage to persuade people to come and play for them as has United, Liverpool, but also PSG and Barcelona.
You're using the verb to persuade someone, which means to convince.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're absolutely right. I think it will be really tough for the Newcastle board to convince any world-class players to play for them, because the only thing they can really offer, the only thing they can use as a leverage, as you said, is the money.
Yeah.
Right. I think players like Jesse Lingard or who else is in consideration, or players that are out of their contract.
Yeah.
Kane. I mean, even Harry Kane. You could talk about Harry Kane. Do you think Harry Kane would go to play for Newcastle, Nrup?
No, I don't think so. Not anytime in 3-4 years, and I think Harry Kane might retire in 3-4 years. You never know. But yeah,
his
I
form
don't
suggests he might. Yeah.
Yeah,
His current form.
and the current club as well. So yeah.
Although he did score 2 consecutive hat tricks for England, which no one has really done in years.
Yeah,
So-
no one has even played against such small teams in years.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, nice one. The 3 arguably strongest teams: Liverpool, Chelsea, City, all won. No surprises this time. So let's deal with Chelsea and City first, since we don't have Chelsea and Manchester City fans here. So did any of you see any of these matches or highlights or stats?
I watched the highlights of Chelsea versus Leicester. Oh my God. Chelsea play some really good football, top football. They just show that the gap between top 3 and the rest teams is pretty high. And the consistency, the level that they play in, it's really formidable. And wow. Conte, again, another masterclass.
Yep. Well,
And
his
I'm not
first match
surprised.
ended in a draw, but
And looking at the depth of Chelsea, playing such football without Lukaku, without other top players as well. They have been playing with the same squad pretty much. Wow, it's really
Yeah.
good.
yeah, absolutely. You use the word formidable, which is a very, very interesting adjective. It's an adjective. You said that they have a formidable team or something like that, which means
Yeah,
other teams will fear them. If you play formidable football, or if you are formidable, it means you sort of cause fear or or also respect. So other players will respect you and fear you because of how good you are, because of how skillful you are. Are United a formidable team right now, Mr. Henriquez?
No. I think they are formidable individuals, but they're not a formidable team.
I agree.
Yeah, and team is what ultimately matters, right?
Yeah.
It's no use if you have players like Sancho, Ronaldo, and Martial, Lingard, Bruno Fernandes. These are top class, world class players. But if there's no team, if it doesn't work as a unit, then the team can't be formidable, right?
No. Well, I'm going to be honest. I've spent my Sunday reading everything that's readable about Manchester United, to the expense of my girlfriend, who at some point said, "Well, he's sacked now. Put your phone away." But no, I've read everything that's readable, and I think the one thing that came kind of out of a particular conclusion was kind of interesting. And some people, of course, they talked about Donny van de Beek, right? Donny van de bench, who kind of scored a good goal. To be honest, he had some good impact. But some people said that Cristiano Ronaldo, the fact that he came to Manchester United, that really broke the team, which is interesting because you might imagine that someone like Cristiano Ronaldo might bring some good things to the team, but I think he's done the opposite. He kind of tipped the team over to the bad side because he's a very good individual player, but he's not a very good defender. He's not a very good midfielder. He's a very good attacker, and he does that extremely well. But I think that's something Solskjaer wasn't able to handle.
No.
So I'm not going to say who I want it to be yet, because otherwise, it might spoil things. But I think the person who's going to be in charge next needs to handle Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And I think if they can handle Ronaldo, they can, it will be better than it is now.
You know what I've just realized? In some of our previous shows, we used to actually mention Paul Pogba. Yeah. And now we haven't mentioned him, like, for how many shows? What does it show, Nrup?
Well, it shows that he hasn't started in a long time. He hasn't started in those games. So I would say that it's the manager, it's him. I mean, definitely it's him, because he recently got fouled. He got a red card, and he had some pretty bad impression because after the red card, he was seen to be hanging out with his friends in some club, which wasn't a good sign. So his reputation as a player has gone down. Yeah. But in terms of infield, I don't think his reputation has gone much down. He's still a good player as a footballer, but discipline-wise, there are some things that need to be talked.
But I think if you think of Paul Pogba, I think he's look at him when he's playing for France, right? He plays absolutely magnificent football. He's a very good player, a very good midfielder. But for some reason, in some games at Man United, he just can't perform. If you look at him at the end of Jose Mourinho's spell at United, it also went extremely bad. It went poorly with his performance. His performance went down, and the same happened now again with Solskjaer, where where's Pogba, right? What did he do? I mean, now he's injured, but he's not the player that he wants to be, appears to be, acts to be. So, I think he's part of the problem as well.
You started off so well, though. Like, I remember that first game where Bruno Fernandes scored a hat-trick. Pogba had 4 assists. 4 assists. That's crazy. But as Nrup said, his reputation... Wait, that's not the right comment. Sorry. His reputation as a player has gone down, So I'm looking at the word reputation here. Reputation, it's, let's say, the overall opinion of people, what people think of him. So you can have a good reputation. That's when people have a good opinion of you, but you could have a bad reputation as well. I agree. I'm such a talented player. It's a shame what's happening with him, really.
And I think it's all in his head. I think it's Bruno Fernandes came and basically became Pogba, what everyone wanted Pogba to be. And we have Scott McTominay, who's also an excellent, like the defensive version of Pogba, I think.
Yeah.
And then we have Fred, who is none of the above, basically.
You guys don't like him so much. The fans, fans are kind of
honestly. I don't really think he's that bad, especially on the Solskjaer. I think he's quite good on the Solskjaer. He was quite good when Solskjaer was there. He wasn't very good when Mourinho was there, but he definitely improved on the Solskjaer. Yeah.
Do you know what? Like whenever I heard pundits talk about the Manchester United team, obviously they would criticize the team left, right, and center, but it would be this player Fred. That I heard most of the time. I think he's a scapegoat.
Yeah.
So if you are a scapegoat, it means that they sort of target you. They choose. It's a difficult word to explain. So you are chosen to be. You sort of have to pay for the failure of the whole team, and they just pick you. They pick you, but it might not always be fair. So he might be scapegoated here a bit. Don't you think?
And I think there's someone who needs to be scapegoated more, and that's of course Harry Maguire. I don't know what that man's doing, but I think he brought Solskjaer down.
No, totally. And he's the one who gave him the chance, right? He's the one who made him. Did Solskjaer made him the captain? It was him, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now, about captains, I think something that really influenced Pogba's game is the fact that Mourinho at some point took away the captain position, right? He was captain under Mourinho. Then they had some sort of fit, some sort. And then Mourinho took away his captain position. So he wasn't the captain anymore. And I think that kind of influenced Pogba as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, well, it's the dynamic, the relationship, something is going on there. Yeah. Even like it was really weird when Harry Maguire celebrated his goal in the what was it? Was it Azerbaijan? What was
Albania. Oh god.
Albania. So he scored a goal against Albania, And obviously when a player is criticized, sometimes they take it to heart, So I think he took it quite personally, and then he scored a goal against Albania, and he celebrated like this, like, what are you saying now, critics? But I guess he didn't realize at the second he scored. I guess he didn't realize who the opposition were.
Yeah, I mean, if they were playing against the Netherlands, for example, Louis van Gaal, Virgil van Dijk, blah blah blah. Fine, I mean, celebrate all you want, but it's Albania. But he did the same thing when they were playing against not the first league, but a second league team in the League Cup, right? And he celebrated like he was Jesus Christ himself, and it was so embarrassing. It was terrible.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, this is arrogance, in my opinion. You should just put your head down and realize that you're not performing, and then just it's negative energy. Yeah, it's negative energy, basically.
It's toxic, basically.
Yeah, it's toxic, absolutely. And then if you have more players like that in the team, well, now we are getting to it. Let's just address the elephant in the room. You lost the game against Watford.
Yeah.
4-1.
Yeah.
4-1 against Watford. Nrup, what do you think? What did you think when you heard this happened?
I was actually shocked that Ranieri could make such a big impact, but then I realized that. I mean, it wasn't Ranieri who was having a masterclass game. It was actually Solskjaer who was having a bad game as well. And wow, unbelievable. I mean, I don't want to banter, but it's not everyone's job to. It's not a big thing to defeat Watford, but still, to defeat Watford and to be defeated by Watford is a two different thing. And 4-1, wow, crazy. They legit made Watford look like some Man City or I don't know, prime Barcelona. They were playing really good football. They were playing really good football.
By the way, guys, we mean no disrespect to teams like Albania or Watford, but this is just what you say when you talk about football. You just expect Albania to get beaten by England, just like you expect Manchester United to get at least a point at Watford, but to lose 4-1.
Yeah,
it's just as Nrup says, it is unbelievable. By the way, the word unbelievable, I think you all know what it means. It means it's difficult to believe. It's difficult to understand how it happened. The stress, so we're talking about pronunciation here, unbelievable. So the stress is on the third syllable, leave. Yeah, unbelievable. And also, sometimes students think that in these adjectives that end with able or able, students think that it's pronounced able, but it's actually not. So you would say unbelievable, not able. Unbelievable wouldn't work. Yeah, unbelievable. Okay. Mr. Henriquez, I have spared you so far, but how did you feel when you heard what had happened?
Well,
Actually, sorry, you watched it first.
I watched it, yeah. I think from minute numero 1, I saw the approach they were going to take. I saw them, defend, park the bus away, and against a team that is not a team against which you should park the bus. I kind of had this feeling like, this is going to go the wrong way.
Yeah. See it coming.
And that happened. Yeah, that happened. I think the atmosphere was not in the right place. I think the players were not in the right place. I think Maguire, his red card was definitely unnecessary. But before I say anything else, I definitely need to shout out to David De Gea, because he went from never stopping a penalty to stopping 2 in one game. I mean, that is unbelievable. I think
Can you guys believe it?
No.
Manchester United lost 4-1, and David De Gea, their goalkeeper, saved 2 penalties. So
yeah. So I think he's definitely the one to blame, which is something we've done in previous seasons quite often, right? We blame David De Gea, who made terrible mistakes, but he was not the one to blame in this game. Neither was Donny van de Beek, of course, because Donny van de Beek played. He did. His energy is good. He's in the right place. His energy is in the right place.
That assist, by the way, from Ronaldo, that was really good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
because I thought he would try to head home, but he actually passed it so well, and then it was easy for the Dutch player to score, right?
Yeah.
You said that you had parked the bus, which is a lovely expression. Which did we start using it with the arrival of Jose Mourinho?
Yes, because that's yeah.
This was always his tactic at Chelsea when he was winning, right? Nrup, remember the good old Chelsea team? We don't have Marvin here today, unfortunately, but I'm sure he's proud of those years when they won almost everything, and that's exactly what Mourinho did. He parked the bus. But you can't park the bus with players like Ronaldo, and you have too many offensive players in the Manchester United team, so it just doesn't add up.
No.
To park the bus, I didn't explain it, did I? To park the bus means to play very defensively.
Yeah.
Basically
means that you play with about 9 defensive players and 1 attacker.
Yeah. Exactly. What about Cavani? Was he playing or not?
No, I think he's injured.
Is he?
I don't know. I was surprised that he put Sancho on from the beginning, together with Rashford and Ronaldo.
It hasn't happened for a while, has it?
No.
Well, Sancho has been a huge disappointment so far. So
yeah. But I think again, this kind of points back to the manager issue, the managerial issue. Yeah. I think Solskjaer is someone who everybody loved, I think, and it isn't that he's not a good manager, but he's just not he doesn't have the tactics. And one thing that really stood out especially this season in particular, was the idea that he had no idea what to do. He had no tactics. He was like a person who has all the tools but doesn't know how to build the house. So he just
I love things.
And
Or-
you know, if it fits and it sticks, fine. But at some point, it collapsed, and I think it started to collapse a few games ago, and now it's completely collapsed.
Probably use the wrong material, or
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that. You said this points back to the managerial issue, which is interesting. I like the word managerial, which is an adjective. Obviously, this word means that it relates to the manager. Yeah, relates to the manager. Managerial issue is the issue of the manager or of the management.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, Nrup, we did well. The City game, honestly, there's nothing to talk about. It's just a standard,
like to-
a bog
yeah.
standard, a bog standard. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna write this down. A bog standard City performance.
Have you seen the assist by Cancelo, the first one?
Yeah. I obviously I have Cancelo in my fantasy fantasy team, so I was delighted to see Cancelo get another assist. But it was
I think it was a world-class assist.
Yeah.
It was really good.
outside of
Sublime.
the foot, outside of his foot, it was brilliant. That's just the vision, inch perfect pass, and then who was it? Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, Sterling.
Converted, and it was brilliant. Once again, bog standard performance. Bog standard means an average performance. This is what City can do. Yeah, they don't need to do much. They just pass the ball around, and they did exactly that in their match against Leicester, which is arguably a good team. Leicester, yeah. Also
Against Everton.
Oh, sorry, Everton. My bad. So Everton, of course. What a shame we don't have a Liverpool fan here tonight, because I wanted to ask the question, Rafa Benitez. Now, from 8 matches, out of 8 matches, only 5 points out of the last 8 matches. It looks like Rafa Benitez is a sleeper agent for Liverpool, because obviously he used to manage Liverpool. So not doing really well, is he?
Definitely. I mean,
At Everton.
his tenure at Newcastle wasn't so good as well. I think he was sacked. So that just shows maybe he should just go back to La Liga or Italian League.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a tenure, interesting word. His tenure. So it's the period that someone is in a position. Yeah. So it's the period for which you have the job. So his, could we say spell as well? I guess.
Spell, era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So big 3 points for City, but I don't know if they had to produce their best. Didn't feel like it to me.
Didn't feel like it. Yep.
Yeah. But well, we have to talk about Arsenal now. Did you see the game, Mr. Henriquez? You said you had seen a bit, yeah?
Yeah, I saw a bit while cleaning. I had it open in the background, which is basically what I always do when I'm not watching Man United.
You watch Arsenal when you clean. What?
Yeah. But I had to. We had friends coming over, so I didn't want to make my girlfriend upset with not having cleaned and watching football all day. But no, I think they had a good start. Right, it was a good beginning. Nothing really interesting happened from my part, because I didn't run to the television to see what happened. So I think they had a good start. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think until the first goal, we were able to hold back Liverpool's attack quite well, and then the first goal happened, and then it was just domino effect.
Yeah.
And that was it. Thrash. But I was expecting a 0-point game, not a thrash in a bad way, like the way the goals were. I think 2-0, 3-0 would have been a decent. 4-0 with such in a bad way.
what?
I think the
Do you know
players.
what?
Yeah, what?
I also expected a loss, and I expected a heavy loss. This didn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
I saw it coming, because Liverpool hadn't won their 2 previous matches. That was the first sign for me. So they really had to produce. They were under pressure, and Klopp is a great manager. It was a home match, whereas Arsenal, they hadn't lost for about 8 matches or 10 matches or something.
10 matches.
They had been on a great run. So it was just obvious this would happen to me, and
Yeah.
I don't know, like
No, I'm not surprised either. But the thing was, not only that, and also I would like to mention that Liverpool has the most informed player in football actually right now. So
yep.
I'm not expecting anything less from him. He gave a goal. I think he probably gave an assist as well. But yeah, that was it. And it's a shame that Arsenal weren't that dangerous actually to Liverpool.
They had no chance in this
They had no
match.
chance,
It was
outclassed. But also it just showed.
one-sided performance. Yeah.
But then again, losing from Liverpool is not the worst thing that can happen, right? I mean, especially if you had a good run, then still, I think they still had an amazing turnaround.
Yeah.
Yes, but you know what the problem is? That some Arsenal fans were saying, even before this match, they were using this expression, it's a free hit. A free hit, yeah? And I think this is part of the problem, because now we have become a club whose fans say things like this. If you say this before the match, it's a free hit. It means it's okay if we lose this one because it's Liverpool. It's a Liverpool away. To be honest, we haven't won there for as long as I can remember. I don't know. It's always thrashing there. It's not a very positive language, is it? If you say it's a free hit. So it divides the fan base. Actually, the Arsenal fan base. I'm subscribed to a few Arsenal fan channels, and some of them were saying this, whereas those more radical ones who want Arteta out, they were slagging them off for
still Arteta out,
using this expression. Sorry.
Are those fans still Arteta out?
No, yeah, man. They are, yeah. So the fan base is still divided. I mean, I think he has won a few hearts over now with the unbeaten run, but
you
it's
can
over
see
now.
it with the stadium. I think the stadium, our home stadium, our fans have been amazing. I think Arteta has been doing a great job. It's just you have to understand, as the youngest Premier League team right now, this season we are the youngest team. We don't have much experience. The boys haven't become the men. So just give them some time.
Here we go. The optimistic Nrup.
You have to. It's realistic.
No, fair enough. Trust the project. Trust the process. Yeah.
I've always
something interesting about Arteta, because I always watched the Premier League with this Dutch television channel, and they had 2 people who were both managers at some point in their careers, and they were discussing managers in the Premier League. And this, of course, before Solskjaer was sacked as well. And they talked about, well, what's going on with the managers, especially our managers. We don't have top-class managers anymore. They were talking about Ten Hag, who everybody wants to see at Man United, which is definitely not something he should do. And that's also because of the language. We saw this with Louis van Gaal. That went completely wrong. I definitely believe it's the language plays a part there as well.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the presenters said, Yuri Mulder, he said, well, the thing we see now is that these managers don't build up to something. So where you would say, basically, you start with the children's team, and then you move on to the ladies team, and then you move on to the second team, and then you move on to the first team, and then the men, the real players, basically. There's a gradual build up towards what you need to coach. And Yuri Mulder mentioned that Arteta didn't do this. He became the second man of Guardiola, and then they put him in Arsenal, and then expect Guardiola performances. But, he's not Guardiola, right? He's not Pep. Pep is someone else who had this very good run, basically. But they mentioned that Pep Guardiola is kind of the exception to the rule. He's not the rule. He's the exception to the rule.
That's right, because he was the same, wasn't he?
Yeah. So I thought that was true, I think. And I think the same happened with Solskjaer. I think the same happened with Ronald Koeman, who was excellent at our Dutch national team, but terrible at Barcelona because, it's not the same. Right?
Yeah.
Managing a national team is not the same as managing a team like Barcelona.
Yeah.
And I think the same is the case with Arteta. The good thing, of course, is that he had, Unai Emery, who didn't do extremely well as well. So the expectations weren't that high. I don't know whether that's true. You guys need
Yeah.
to correct me.
Well, we wanted him. He was welcomed quite warmly when he came
Yeah.
because he was
He
an
also played.
ex-Arsenal player, and he had a good reputation as the captain. So, but I've recently seen a comparison between how many matches Jurgen Klopp. I see if I can find it here. I think I wrote it down somewhere. Jurgen Klopp won in 2021, and Arteta won in 2021. And I found it. So they each played 33 matches in 2021, which also includes the last season. Yeah. And Klopp has 17 wins. Arteta has 18 wins.
Wow.
Klopp has 9 defeats. Arteta has 8 defeats in 2021. Considering he's working with young players, it's what you
Exactly.
call the process. It's not
Yeah.
it's not as bad as some Arsenal fans say, actually.
No.
I agree.
But
The thing is,
the Arsenal. I have a question about Arsenal. Do you guys think Arsene Wenger did a poor job at the end?
yes, I think so. I think he should have realized that Arsenal Football Club is not. I think he was obsessed with Arsenal. He was way too obsessed, and the thing was, ever since Emirates, ever since we moved to Emirates, he was everything to us. Like, he was acting not just as a manager, as a coach, but he was everything. He was as good as an owner, and that stopped him from becoming a good manager, a manager who can challenge to titles. So yeah, I think that was the problem with Wenger, and you saw it with the players. We just had heartbreaking exits. Fabregas, Van Persie,
Yeah.
Sanchez. The list can just go on. Nasri and all.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, in Nasri's case, for me, it was good riddance. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Absolutely, he kind of overstayed his welcome, but it was also difficult. I mean, recently a documentary film about Arsene Wenger has come out, right? And I think he
Yeah.
started talking a bit more about it because whenever he was in charge at Arsenal, he didn't really say much about this, right? I think he regrets it a little bit as well that he hadn't left earlier. And I think he realizes some of his mistakes. But what he's saying is that he sort of felt like he had to pay back the club. He felt like he needs to do
Yeah.
something. He needs to do more for Arsenal, especially after the stadium. They built a new stadium, and so but it was kind of. There was no progress towards the end. Yeah, it was going down the hill, really. So, yeah.
Yeah. That's difficult.
It is difficult, but I think now looking back at Arsene Wenger, I think he has got so much respect that, like. But would you want Arsene back? Because there have been some speculations he might come back.
Me?
Nrup. Yes.
No. As a manager, no. But maybe in terms of some technical position, I would love him to have him back at Arsenal. But I think I don't think he's a one club man anymore. I think he wants to give his knowledge, his experience to football. He wants to be a revolutionary to the whole football world, and I think he definitely has proven it. I think he has proven it, even with being at Arsenal, not
Hang on.
winning Champions League. What?
You said he wants to be a revolutionary. Didn't he suggest that we should ban offsides? I think he did,
Probably.
didn't he? That
I'm not sure.
He's been quite vocal, but obviously he's working for, is it UEFA or FIFA? One of those. I can't remember.
FIFA. He's
FIFA,
working
yeah.
on FIFA.
And I heard that he wants to,
Oh, he definitely has some mind-boggling theories or ideas
Yeah.
or plans. But I mean, look, I think I don't think he's putting up some bad football opinions. He definitely has some sort of proven point, and you never know. He could be the key to some big change in the world of football.
Yeah.
And I won't go against him. I won't make fun of him. I mean, I have respect for him, and he's not saying something because someone has paid him. He's saying because he wants to say it. He's not a pundit from Sky Sports or somewhere.
No,
Yeah.
he's an honest guy as well, and he really
Yeah.
means it, and he's genuine, and he really always, whenever he was at Arsenal, he always wanted the best for the club. No one could doubt that. No one. Yeah, he gave his everything.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Would you take? It's gonna be a bit of a funny question here now, but would you take Arsene Wenger at United?
No. Well, it depends. Maybe as interim or caretaker until the end of the season, sure, why not? But as new manager, I don't know. But the reason is not that I didn't like his style or something. I liked his at some point he really played passing football. He played that was excellent stuff. But I think the problem with contemporary football players is kind of like contemporary students, right? You need to be able to manage them. I remember that when Louis van Gaal started with the Dutch national team, people said, well, is he able to coach these new generation of players with his very strict hand? Because he has a very strict hand, right? It's kind of a dictatorship, if you like. But he said, yeah, sure, why not? People change, and he was able to change. But I don't know how Arsene would do the same. Arsene Wenger do the same with the new players like Rashford and McTominay, Martial, Ronaldo as well. Right, Ronaldo is now a senior player, so
yeah.
I do have
some
insights.
I think, to be honest, someone like Arsene Wenger, he has natural respect. Like I can't see any player in the world disrespecting Arsene Wenger. It just can't happen.
Like Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah, the same thing. So I think he wouldn't struggle, I think. But the question is would Manchester United benefit from his coaching? That's another question. But in terms of the man management or being respected, I don't see any issues there.
There is some insight. When you guys were speaking just a few minutes ago, I went to Manchester Evening News, and I wanted to check what the new insights were. And there are some ideas that Pochettino might be able to do it, really quit PSG and join Man United, which I think is weird, but
All right. I think I know what just happened. I think we have got another person here. Hello, Simon.
Evening. Dobry wieczór.
I think I made a terrible mistake because I probably told you that the time zone mistake, because I'm so sorry. So
we're in Fergie time, are we now?
Yeah.
Squeaky bum time.
We can go back to Liverpool because Simon is a Liverpool fan, and I think I messed up the time zones. I didn't tell you it would be the Central European time. Right, you thought it would be the UK time. My bad. I'm so sorry.
I'll let you off with a caution.
Well,
doesn't matter which time zone you're in. Liverpool are still going to win the league in every time.
Absolutely, you're definitely on a high now, aren't you, Simon?
I think it all depends what happens with the African Cup of Nations. I'm hoping for a swift exit for Egypt and Senegal, to be honest. Because the idea of Origi, Minamino, and possibly a half-fit Firmino up front doesn't exactly inspire confidence, does it?
No, it does not. Yeah. This is our chance. I like the phrase, it doesn't exactly inspire. I'm just going to write it down here. It doesn't exactly inspire confidence. That's a
classic English understatement, I guess.
That's a brilliant English understatement. It's one of those when you say the player didn't cover themselves in glory. It's a similar one. If something doesn't
There's room for
exactly inspire,
improvement.
yeah, there's room for improvement. So if something doesn't exactly inspire confidence, it's another way of saying, I'm not very confident about this at all.
In fact, I have zero confidence in them. It's just that's I'm going to say it in an incredibly polite and indirect way. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, obviously, we have already talked about the Arsenal game. We are gutted. Me and Nrup, because we are both Arsenal fans. So
sorry, Nrup.
That's okay. That's
There's
okay.
always next time.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's a blessing in disguise that you came late. Yeah. So obviously, you're gonna take the piss now, and we will have to take it. But at least it won't be the whole show. It won't be the entire show. So do your worst.
Do my worst. I mean, I don't know. I feel like picking on Arsenal is like picking on a small child. It's
Zdeněk, you can talk about Rafa Benitez.
Oh yeah, I had a dig at Rafa Benitez. No, well, it's kind of good for Liverpool though. He seems to be a sleeper agent at Everton now. Yeah, so
who's the
he's doing a
greatest
great
ever
job.
Liverpool manager? The guy that got Everton relegated. They'd build a statue to him outside Anfield.
He has 5 points out of his last games. I mean, even the only team that might potentially be worse. I saw the form of the last five matches, and only Brentford are worse in their last 5 matches. So
I think the thing with Rafa is he's on a bit of a hiding to nothing at Everton, isn't he? He's got no money at all. I mean, what kind of club with expectations has players that cost £1.5 million? I mean, that's what players cost when I was a kid, and that's an awfully long time ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's what's the guy supposed to do? You can't work miracles with what you've got.
That's true. I mean, even all I couldn't work miracles with their Manchester United team, Mr. Henriquez, right?
Well,
so
we might get a miracle, right? Everything can happen in football. Don't forget, we're still only in November, so everything can still happen in football.
Absolutely. Are we 1/3 through the league? Not yet, right? We might be. My math skills are not that good. This was match week. We are now discussing match week 12. Yeah. So we're kind of
38 games, aren't there? So we're getting there.
Not yet. No, almost. Yeah. Almost 1/3 through.
Maybe Jose will come back.
Well, honestly, that was top entertainment, right? I mean, when I heard that he was leaving to go to Italy, I was kind of disappointed because all the top entertainment we had from Jose Mourinho is just over now.
Yeah, it was like a soap opera, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it was the same when he was at Spurs, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We had so much fun. Yeah.
But he was a bit tempered down, maybe. He wasn't really as passionate and as outgoing as he was United or as he was at Chelsea.
You can't really get that passionate if you manage Spurs. I'm sorry, but it just can't. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're talking to the wrong people about that, aren't we? I mean, I'm old enough to remember when George Graham was appointed Spurs manager. That had to be one of the weirdest appointments. A guy who's an Arsenal legend, who loves defensive football and thinks 1-0 victories where the ball goes in off somebody's backside is a great game of football, is somehow going to be a Spurs manager. I mean, that's up there with Benitez to Everton as, bizarre.
Backside. Yeah, that's a good one. So you said when the ball goes off somebody's backside, so it's basically the bottom.
The bottom, the posterior. Yeah. Yes.
The arse.
In off the arse,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually when a ball goes off somebody's backside, it's usually used to describe someone who's not a good footballer, right? They get lucky and score goals with their backside. So
exactly, yeah.
Have you scored any goals with your backside, guys?
No.
I'm not sure I've scored many goals, to be honest. I did once score 2 own goals in a match. That's quite an
Okay,
achievement.
well,
Oh, what an achievement that is.
That's the pinnacle of my career, I think.
The pinnacle of your career.
Yeah, the very high point, the greatest
Yep.
moment. In the
I
same
really
way Arsenal's pinnacle isn't we've already reached it, I'm afraid, gentlemen.
I really like it when the crowd goes like sacked in the morning. I kind of enjoy the sacked in the morning. It's really a nice song. Basically, it's very mean, but it's a nice song. Until last Saturday, when at some point they were singing "Sacked in the Morning" to Solskjaer, and that kind of broke my heart.
Yeah.
It was so sad to hear them sing "Sacked in the Morning," and then, he actually got sacked. But still, it's funny for other happens to other people, basically.
I think at this point we should probably sing the song, but so you're getting sacked
No one
in
mentioned
the
anything
morning,
about singing when I
sacked in
agreed
the
to this.
morning. You're gonna
Sacked in the
you're getting
morning.
sacked in the morning. That's
Yeah.
that's the tune, everyone. That's the
Yeah.
chant. Also, didn't they sing always at the wheel
Yeah.
or something? Yeah.
And then the Manchester City fans sang Carrick's at the wheel to kind of mock Michael Carrick. So, it went from bad to worse in less than a few hours.
It went from bad to worse. Would you use this expression, Nrup, to describe Arsenal's performance against Liverpool?
I mean, it wasn't bad, honestly. First 30 minutes, we were able to hold Liverpool's attack. But yeah, it was basically from good to worse.
No, I disagree. I beg to differ. It was always bad, and it was always going to happen.
I think what Arsenal need is to get Arteta back in midfield, because the passion he showed when he was kicking off against Klopp, that I kind of like that. I want to see more of that. He's so nice the rest
That
of the
was
time. He's
that was
so
incredible.
pleasant, and Arsenal have been pleasant for a long time now, but you need a bit of grrr in there.
I agree with you.
I don't rate Xhaka at all, but at least he put himself about a little bit, and made physical contact with other players, because it is a physical contact game, But
Yeah.
Arsenal just strike me as the sort of team that look amazing in training. I bet their training sessions, they all look awesome. They've got the technique, they've got the skills, got the touch. What you need is some animal in midfield.
Bruno Fernandes, Fred. Maybe Fred will be available.
I think he's always available.
You want to get rid of him, right? Don't do this to us.
We'll give
Okay,
you
you said-
Fred, and you'll get Donny van de Beek for free as well. What about that?
Thanks.
That's a good offer, actually. I would like to
We'll think about that.
We'll
Yeah.
take him. Yeah.
You said, Simon, that Arsenal just strike you as a team who look amazing in training. So if someone strikes someone as something, that means they seem to you like, yeah. You could say Nrup strikes me as he strikes me as an optimist or something.
Yeah.
So it means like I think he seems to be an optimist, basically. Yeah, it's a very nice expression. All right. Well, there's not much left to talk about, really. I wanted to mention the Tottenham game. Antonio Conte really did look happy when they beat
One
Who
of
did
the
they
worst
beat?
teams in the league. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the team they beat?
Leeds.
Leeds. Right. Yeah, and they were 1-0 down after the halftime. That was terrible. Leeds were the better team by a mile.
What's this league that Spurs have just gone out of in Europe? I can't even remember the name of it. Is it like
It's
the
like
European
UCL, but not Champions League.
Something league. I don't know.
Conference League, yeah, Conference League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Only Spurs could get themselves knocked out of that, could they? I mean, who else could come up with that kind of master stroke?
Exactly.
Against Vitesse, right? Vitesse is not even one of our better teams. So
I've never heard of that
league.
team, by the way. Never.
no,
I've
it's
heard
the
about
best team.
It was a Dutch team. I never heard about that team. I know Ajax Amsterdam, obviously, yeah, but I'd never heard about what was it again?
Vitesse.
Vitesse. What a surprise that was.
Maybe Spurs are concentrating on the league this year. They don't want to get
Yeah.
sidetracked by too many midweek games.
Yeah.
Could be. It was. I know we were in Holland. Everyone was very excited to see a Premier League team to go to Vitesse. It happened the same with Manchester United when they went to AZ. I remember that I wanted to go there, but then I think the pandemic had just started, and then I wasn't able to go.
Yeah. And one more thing, guys. Do you guys play the Fantasy Premier League by any chance?
Yeah, but my kids are doing better than me.
Well, I play it, and I've recently bought Harry Kane because everybody was saying you need to get Harry Kane because they have got a good run of fixtures right now. Fixtures, by the way, everyone, is a fixture is another way of saying a match. Yeah, so they have a good run of matches, very easy teams. Yeah, so I jumped on the bandwagon and bought Harry Kane. He is now my second most expensive player. And of course, he blanked. He hasn't scored. He hasn't assisted. Nothing. I thought after the hat-tricks for the England team, he would, bring me some points, but nothing. So don't buy Harry Kane. Yeah, note to self. Note to self.
Note to Man City.
Yeah.
Zenik, you're forgetting about Wolves versus West Ham. No one is talking about it.
I like West Ham, as you guys know. I have a soft spot for West Ham, and there is a reason I did not mention West Ham in this show today. Yeah, it was nothing like any of the matches before. It was a shambolic performance from West Ham. They lost 1-0. Wolves are a decent team. Yeah, there are no mugs. That's a good British English expression. If you are no mugs, it means you're not a bad team. Yeah. So Wolves are a good team, and they have a decent form right now.
Yeah.
But West Ham, come on, they had beaten Liverpool. Yeah, they had beaten Simon's Liverpool, and they were fourth in the league, or third or fourth or something.
Yeah.
And then they lose against Wolves in such a terrible fashion. They didn't really. West Ham players looked really like jet lagged or something, because Antonio had just come back from a game he played for Jamaica. That's a long way off, obviously, and that we had to send a private. I said we. The West Ham fans had to send a private jet for him, not fans. The board. Sorry. And I just don't know what happened there in that match. David Moyes will be very disappointed.
Every dog has its day, as they say.
Definitely.
Every dog has its day. I love that.
So who do you guys think will replace Solskjaer? Let's hear some
Long term, or
sure, whatever.
There was an Instagram post. I took a photo of it, so I'm gonna show you the four most probable candidates. Yeah,
This is going to be like a meme making fun of.
Zidane, Pochettino. Who else is there for
No,
candidates?
Zidane turned it down, definitely.
Yeah, he definitely would. It's the language barrier.
Yeah, and his wife doesn't want to live in Manchester, which is weird because Manchester is amazing.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe not as gloomy weather, I guess.
No,
in France
yeah.
or Spain. But
I mean, they're talking about Laurent Blanc stepping in, and
I haven't heard about him in a very long time.
I don't even know who he is.
point in itself.
Oh, he's a legend. He's a class player. He was a class player, but I'm not sure about manager.
I don't know if you can see this, guys.
I cannot. Could you read it? Oh, is it Erik Ten Hag?
Pick the coach: Pochettino, Ten Hag, Rodgers, Zidane.
Oh yeah,
So-
Rodgers.
Brendan Rodgers.
Ten Hag is also out because he wants to. I've just read that they want to finish at Ajax, so he's not going.
So that leaves you with Pochettino or Brendan Rodgers then.
Yeah.
Well, it's not going to be Southgate. He's just signed a new contract,
Yeah.
which is
I don't think he would have been a good fit either.
What about David Moyes? Don't you want him back?
Maybe.
I think it's probably going to be Rodgers or Pochettino. But I cannot imagine someone leaving PSG with Messi and Mbappe to go to Manchester United. That makes no sense.
Well,
maybe the question is how much sway Pochettino has over his star players at PSG.
Yeah.
He's a guy, who likes to do things a certain way. And if he thinks that he's not really in charge, that he's just the figurehead for this, and that, the dressing room is, you got Ramos in there as well. I mean, he's not exactly diplomatic, is he?
No.
a bit of a character, yeah.
You could say that, yeah. That's a big dressing room to manage, and I'm sure he's up to it. But, if I think he's one of those who's not in it for the money necessarily. I think he wants to actually win stuff, and he came close with Tottenham, and he was taking them the right way. Man United got more money. They're in another league again, no matter how fancy Spurs' stadium is.
Looks like a toilet seat, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can pay extra, I've been told by a friend of mine, to have a heated seat as well, because that's the first thing you think of when you go to a football match. You come back to backsides again. Is my backside warm? Maybe it's because you spend a lot of time sitting down, not getting excited at their games. You need to be comfortable.
Yeah.
But no one manages PSG for 20 years or anything, do they? You go for 2 years and then see the sights in Paris and go and do something else. And he likes a project. I reckon, Man United's a project now, isn't it?
Yeah. I wonder if he's going to do it.
I think he could be tempted.
Yeah.
Rodgers would take it in a heartbeat.
But would it be good? I don't think he would be good.
He'd be convinced that he was going to be good.
Yeah.
He's not short of confidence, is he?
Wouldn't it be out of the frying pan into the fire with Rodgers, Mr.
Yeah.
Enrique?
I think so.
This is a guy who's got a painting of himself on the wall in his house.
Really?
Apparently so. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure you can find it online. But he's rumored to have like this massive portrait of himself. So I think there's, as they were saying, it's got a wee bit of self-confidence there, and I think he likes being on the telly. He's got the teeth, he's got the tan. I think he wants to be in the limelight.
He thinks he's good on camera, yeah? So I asked this tongue-in-cheek question. Wouldn't it be out of the frying pan into the fire, which is another way of saying, wouldn't it be from bad to worse? Yeah. I don't know.
I think he's doing well at Leicester because it's Leicester, right?
Yep.
It's a small team. It's not Man United.
No.
So
You never know if a manager of this stature has what it takes until you really give him the chance, right? So
yeah, but I don't think they're going to do that.
I think Rodgers fancies himself playing in Europe every season. He probably thinks that I think he speaks Spanish as well. But that might just be me imagining things. I think he fancies himself as going to United and then maybe Madrid and then, the world and whatever. He strikes me, again, to go back to Fez, that kind of character. He fancies himself and he believes in himself, which is probably why he's a very effective man manager and gets the most out of players who, a lot of the time, aren't superstars. But I reckon he'd take it. What Liverpool fans would think about that, I don't really know.
all right, well, we kind of stretched this live show because we wanted to hear what Simon has to say. So thank you very much for making
That's
it.
right.
Once again, I apologize for messing this up, for mucking this up. We can have you on next time if you want.
Yeah,
especially you know what? I'm gonna invite you when something terrible happens to Liverpool. African Cup ambition.
When does contract finish?
Because I think we need we need to
Payback.
take our revenge. Yeah, we need a payback. Yeah, because
Maybe with the new manager when United wins from Liverpool.
No, I couldn't hear that. That didn't make
When
any sense.
Brendan Rodgers and Man United win from Liverpool.
Oh, yeah, I feel like the guy who's come on in the 89th minute, you know, a little cameo. Run around a
Only
little
from
bit.
the date, basically.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
But
yes,
wasn't it funny
Lingard.
that he scored? Isn't that
Yeah.
just the perfect summary for Solskjaer's career?
Yeah.
The last person to that'll be a pub quiz question one of these days. Who was the last player to score under Solskjaer?
yeah. So a cameo is a good word, by the way, which we haven't mentioned here before. So it's like why did I take it off? It's like a short appearance in a film, or in this case, a game, a football game. It sort of reminds me of Simon's. Simon has had a cameo here as well tonight.
On the Divock
because you came kind of late, yeah. So, yeah, it's a good word to use for sure. Okay, guys, I think that will be it for tonight. Thank you very much for showing up and for talking to us about this match week 12. A lot of interesting
Very sad
results,
one.
twists and turns. Long may it continue. And yeah, we will see who United get as a new manager. We'll see if Arsenal manage to bounce back after this defeat. And one last thing, guys, follow English Football vocab. That's Simon. Yeah, that's Simon. Simon, you broke one of my rules. I usually want people to use their real names here. Or
I do apologize. I was umming and ahhing about it.
It's all right. That's all right. But at least now I don't have to write it down as a comment, so we know where to find you. And Simon has really cool football posts. I'm subscribed myself, so this is your Instagram, Simon, yeah?
Yes, yeah. Just a little bit of a hobby to
Definitely,
keep me entertained.
definitely worth checking out. Just like Mr. Henriquez has his fantastic YouTube channel. So
Thank you very much.
do check it out.
I'm going live
Right,
as well this Wednesday again with past tenses this week.
All right. Okay, well, this show is also past tense now, so thank you very much for coming today, and thanks everyone for watching. Until next time, bye.
See you.
All right.